Ever walked past a famous landmark and felt a little chill, a sense that there's more to its story than meets the eye? You're not wrong. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on some of the world's most iconic spots to reveal the hidden horrors lurking beneath their beautiful facades. So, grab your flashlight, and let's go on a journey into the dark side of history. Our first stop is Paris, the city of love, home to the magnificent Eiffel Tower. It's a symbol of romance and engineering genius, right? Well, yes, but its construction story has a grim chapter. Building this iron lattice giant in the late 1880s was incredibly dangerous. Imagine working hundreds of feet in the air with minimal safety gear, no hard hats, no safety harnesses as we know them today. While the official records claim only one fatality during construction, many historians argue this number is suspiciously low. They believe the count was deliberately suppressed to maintain public morale and the project's prestigious image. The true human cost of this marvel, paid by the hands that pieced it together, remains a somber, untold tale, lost in the shadows of its glittering lights. Next, we travel to Rome, to the majestic Colosseum. We all know it was the stage for epic gladiatorial contests, but let's truly absorb what that means. This wasn't just a sport, it was a spectacle of death. Imagine the scene, nearly 50,000 spectators roaring as people and animals were forced to fight to their last breath. Historians estimate that over 400,000 people and 1 million wild animals perished within its walls over centuries of games. The sand on the arena floor, the very ground tourists walk on today, was constantly soaked with blood. The Colosseum wasn't just an amphitheater. It was an industrial-scale slaughterhouse, a monument built on a foundation of unimaginable suffering, all for the entertainment of the masses. The cheers of the ancient crowds have long faded, but the echoes of that brutality still haunt its stones. Let's cross the Atlantic to the United States and visit Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. These four presidential faces carved into a mountain are a symbol of American democracy and freedom. But the land itself, the Black Hills, is sacred to the Lakota Sioux people. To them, it's known as the Six Grandfathers. The U.S. government promised this land to the Lakota in the Treaty of 1868, but when gold was discovered, the treaty was broken, and the land was seized. Carving the faces of the very leaders who oversaw this westward expansion and the displacement of native peoples into their sacred mountain is seen by many as a profound act of desecration. It's a monument to conquest built on stolen land, a permanent scar on a spiritual landscape. So while millions gaze up in awe for the Lakota, it's a painful and constant reminder of broken promises and cultural erasure. Now, let's head east to the Tower of London. With its stoic walls and resident ravens, it seems like a quintessential piece of British history. But for centuries, this fortress was a place of dread. It served as a notorious prison and execution site for those who fell out of favor with the crown. Figures like Anne Boleyn and Lady Jane Grey met their grim ends here. But it's the story of the princes in the tower that is perhaps the most chilling. In 1483, the 12-year-old King Edward V and his 9-year-old brother Richard were locked away in the tower by their uncle, the future King Richard III. The two boys were never seen again. 2 centuries later, the skeletons of 2 children were discovered hidden beneath a staircase. While we can't be 100% certain, it's widely believed these were the remains of the young princes. The Tower of London isn't just a castle, it's a tomb, holding secrets of royal intrigue and a history written in betrayal and blood. From London, we journey to Cambodia and the breathtaking temple complex of Angkor Wat. It's the largest religious monument in the world, a stunning example of Khmer architecture that draws millions of visitors. But its more recent history is steeped in tragedy. During the 1970s, Cambodia fell under the brutal regime of the Khmer Rouge, led by Pol Pot. Their goal was to create an agrarian utopia, but it resulted in a genocide that killed nearly a quarter of the country's population. The temples of Angkor, including Angkor Wat, became symbols of the old, educated society the Khmer Rouge sought to destroy. While the structures themselves were largely spared from direct destruction, the surrounding areas became part of the infamous killing fields. The grounds that once echoed with peaceful chants became sites of unspeakable atrocities. Today, as you wander through these serene temples, it's impossible to forget that you're walking on land that bore witness to one of the darkest chapters of the 20th century. The beauty of the stones stands in stark, silent contrast to the immense human suffering that once enveloped them. Our final destination takes us to Edinburgh Castle in Scotland. Perched atop an extinct volcano, it's a fairy tale fortress with a history that's anything but. For centuries, this castle was at the center of Scotland's most violent conflicts. But its most sinister period was during the great witch hunts of the 16th and 17th centuries. More accused witches were burned at the stake on Castle Hill than anywhere else in Scotland. It's estimated that over 300 people, mostly women, were subjected to horrific torture and public execution right outside the castle walls, their supposed crime being witchcraft. They were victims of mass hysteria and superstition. Today, a small fountain called the Witch's Well commemorates these innocent lives. When you visit and admire the panoramic views, remember that the very ground you stand on was once a site of fiery, unjust death, where fear and paranoia reigned supreme. So the next time you visit a famous landmark, take a moment. Look beyond the postcard-perfect view and listen for the whispers of the past. These places are more than just stone and mortar. They are living chronicles of human history, filled with tales of triumph, but also of tragedy, sacrifice, and darkness. Their beauty is undeniable, but their complete story is often buried just beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the hidden horrors of our world's landmarks. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the stories you thought you knew. See you next time.